Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Chicago Fair Trade Tea Time. We're here today with Rebecca Ratliff, and I'll tell you a little bit about Rebecca, and then I'll tell you why we're doing this, and we'll just take it away. Rebecca lives in Chicago. She's a regular volunteer with Chicago Fair Trade, and she's also passionate about environmental issues. And she started shifting her wardrobe to an ethical one back in 2012 after reading about the environmental and social damage associated with a lot of fashion. I'm guessing maybe you read Overdressed, but we can get into that. We've engaged, Rebecca and I, on Instagram a little bit over clothing. And a few weeks ago, we were both in the Chicago Fair Trade Coffee Klatch, which if you haven't been, you should check it out. It's a Saturday morning Zoom meeting. It's just talk about whatever. And I was like, I'm so jealous of your wardrobe. We should totally do a tour of it. And so here we are, touring Rebecca's ethical wardrobe. And with that, I'm going to let Rebecca just kind of take it away, and then I'll just kind of interject when I have a question for you.
Yeah, hey, I'm excited to share. So I've got just a small studio, but I'm fortunate to have 2 closets. So we will start with outerwear and purses.
2 closets, wow.
Yeah, it's why I got my studio. I don't need a lot of space, but my clothes do. So I'll start, I'll talk about purses real quick here. Probably a lot of women are judging me for the sad state I keep my purses in, but it works for me. It's right by my door, and I just don't have enough room for these 2. But here's one that I wanted to highlight. This is from Chicago Fair Trade member Abby Alley. So they're based in Chicago. And I think this is the perfect summer bag. I got it last year at the World Fair Trade Day. And yeah, it has this strap, this longer one is detachable. So you can just carry it around like this if you want. But I get compliments on it all the time when I wear it, all the time. And it's just kind of, it's nice because it's a bag where no one, it's not a fancy designer or something.
But it's kind of a cool shape, and it has like a little covering on the inside there, right? So your stuff doesn't get exposed.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not as easy to get in there. It's got these cute beads, and it is made with real leather, so it's gonna last a while, but it's vegetable tanned, which is really important because that helps to protect the environment and the workers. So yeah, and my other bags here, they're made in America, fair trade as well. But yeah, I pretty much buy all leather bags now. I haven't found any good ones to last that long.
Yeah.
Or that well, but I always look for vegetable tan.
Vegetable tan is important, and vegan leather is basically just vinyl, so it's a petroleum product. So that always makes me feel a little bit. I know it's a complicated world out there. We just do the best we can, but I'm with you on the leather.
Yeah, it deteriorates faster than I would like. So I always, if you're spending money on good, ethically made goods, you want them to last well. Oh, and that bag, it's made in Kenya. Is where that's from.
It's made in Kenya. I know Abby Alley works in Kenya and Tanzania. And we'll also put links to these places in the comments later so that people can find some of these companies.
Yeah. All right. Next I wanted to talk outerwear. So like I said, I'm lucky to have a coat closet, but I think any apartment in Chicago without a coat closet, that's a sad thing. We need coats.
Oh yeah, and it is May 14th, and it's
we're still wearing stuff. Yeah, I'm wearing this because I'm inside, but yeah, it's been cold outside lately. But yeah, I'm very picky about outerwear. I try and make it so outerwear never detracts from an outfit. It adds to it. It makes it look nice. So I think about it a lot before I purchase it, but I'll show you guys a couple of pieces. This one here, this is just a simple jacket that I'll wear when going running or going to and from spinning or yoga or whatever. And I like the pattern. I think it's funky, but nice. Like I've worn it for years, and this is by the brand Satva. And they're a fair trade brand. They do everything in India, and they work with all organic cotton. That's nice.
I like that jacket because you could put that over like a ratty gray t-shirt and like black leggings or whatever, and you would look really put together.
Exactly.
I love a print too.
The outerwear would make the outfit look better. Yeah. But yeah, I have some other pieces from them, and I really like all their stuff. And this piece here, I have to show you this one. This is I call this my fabulous poncho. And this is fair trade. I have to show you it so you get a full idea of the movement. And yeah, so it just has this gorgeous shape to it. I feel oh so pretty whenever I wear it. And it's really, like I can do this and everything. It's really warm. So sometimes when I'm still needing warmth in Chicago, but I don't want to wear a full coat, I will wear that. And this is from a great designer. It's Victoria Road. And they do all of their work in Pakistan. So it's fair trade from Pakistan. And what's great about them, aside from paying the people who make it well and everything, is all of their different collections, they use different like emerging Pakistani designers. So I think that's great for keeping the brand fresh, but also for giving a lot of different women opportunities as opposed to just sticking with one for a while. So
yeah, that's a great model. Also, I was just going to mention Satva is an organic agriculture investor. I was reading a little bit about them. The warm-up jacket that you showed us from Satva is organic cotton, right? And it's
yeah,
that's their main thing.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll move to my closet now.
Okay, so while we're looking at getting this awesome view of your closet, I'm going to throw you a tough question. How would you define an ethical closet?
Yeah, so this is something that people are talking about a lot now in this space. And it's kind of, I mean, what one person is comfortable with or thinks of as ethical, that might be a little bit different for everyone. But what I'm always looking for when I purchase is a mixture of, you know, can be secondhand. I think that's great because it's keeping clothing from going into the waste stream. It's giving it another life. It can be fair trade. Obviously, I support a lot of that. I'm a really big fan of supporting American made as well. You know, you're keeping it more local. You're keeping jobs in our economy, which is awesome. And definitely, I like to support brands that are doing stuff in a more sustainable way. So with the materials they use, maybe their factories are solar powered, maybe they're careful about their water, or like vegetable tanning, things like that. So it's kind of a mixture of all those things. And what you find when you start looking to buy, you know, more ethical fashion is most pieces are not going to be perfect. They're not going to like every single box, but it's about, you know, finding what we can, doing the best we can.
I was just going to say there are so many options out there, and it's really it's kind of an umbrella term for a lot of great options. But you know, you can't do everything with one garment. You have to sort of read about where you're buying from, and you know, do the best you can. Do what works for you.
Yeah. So I want to talk about a couple pieces here. Talk about knitwear first.
Knitwear, okay.
Yeah, knitwear is another thing where in Chicago that's pretty important. There are a lot of brands that I really love. One of them is Ayayu. They are based in Denmark, but they do all their stuff in Bolivia. So here's one of my most used pieces. It's just like a great spring or fall sweater. I've been using it a lot lately because it's still cool all the time, right? So and most of the knit that they use is llama wool, which is not super common, but it's really warm, it's really soft. So yeah, I love Ayayu.
Is that like
Um,
softer than like sheep's wool?
Yeah, I would say it's softer than that. It's not as soft as cashmere or alpaca, but it's definitely softer than wool.
I
Um,
do want to say they also do some producing in India and Nepal as well.
yeah, yes, they do. And actually, I'll highlight this piece from them because this is one of their organic cotton pieces that
Cool.
I was likely made in India. And yeah, this is just a great top for summer. It's very, very flowy, very easy.
Are those like little embroidered dots or are they printed?
They're like painted on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I like them a lot. Yeah. And then another thing like you want to think of when buying pieces that are a little pricier maybe is how much can I wear this? So this is one of my favorite pieces. It's just a really simple cream sweater dress. It's from a brand called Thinking Moo. Once again, fair trade. They produce in India. They're based out of Barcelona. And this is an organic cotton knit. So it's not as warm, but that makes it work great for like the spring and fall months. And I can also get away with wearing it in winter, just with wearing thick tights underneath it and everything. So 3-season piece.
It's always good to go practical when you're shopping ethical because you know one of the things we worry about is cost per wear, like things that can wear for a long time. But
Yeah.
I'm also wondering, do you ever buy anything that's just like trendy?
Yeah. So like my style is I go for stuff that's going to be pretty timeless or pretty trendless, but occasionally I really like a trend. And so occasionally I just really love the piece. And I think that's when you should buy trends is when you know you're going to love it and keep wearing it even once the trend is done. I think this dress is a great example of that. So I got this at Whole Foods. And I tell you what, guys, I have so many pieces from Whole Foods because that was back when I started buying stuff like 8 years ago. It was really hard to find stuff. And so that was one of the places where I could easily find like fair trade brands, ones that were using good fabrics and all that. So anyway, I bought this like, I don't know, 5 years ago when printed maxi dresses were all the rage. They're not really anymore, but I still wear this every summer. I don't care. It still looks great on me and I feel great in it. And I still
I think that's a good rule of thumb for any trend purchase, whether it's ethical or not. Like if you love it, then you'll wear it. And if you don't love it, then who cares about the trend?
Exactly. And I think that, people purchasing in a really trend driven way, that is so much of what's responsible for us just disposing of clothing really quickly. Because when you buy something just because you're seeing it on a lot of people and you think it looks cute in the moment, but then you aren't seeing it on anyone anymore, so you feel silly wearing it and you realize it's really not you, then excuse me, then you're going to dispose of it. Whereas it's like, yeah, trends are a way to inject some really fun stuff into our wardrobe, but only if it's us. So
For sure.
that's how I look at it. I really hope that crop tops like never go out of style, because if they do, I'm still gonna be wearing them. And I'm like, I've got a few here. Yeah. So it's like these are actually both made by local designers. So neither of these are fair trade. They're local, made in America. This is raw silk with the dye is plant-based spatter dye there. So yeah, stuff like that.
And that's what can you tell us what those brands are? I know that splatter top is Argamon and Defiance, right?
Yeah, this one is Argamon and Defiance. I think she actually might be based in Milwaukee, maybe.
I looked it up. She's in St. Louis area now. She's in St. Charles, Missouri. But she went to SAIC, I think. So she was in Chicago.
Yeah, and where I purchased this is from, and the same with that navy blue crop top you saw, is Milk Handmade, which is a fantastic little shop in Andersonville. Right now, it's all purchase online, of course, but you can go and pick it up from the shop if you just want to get out for a walk. But if you're not in Chicago, you can just purchase online. But I love that store. I discovered it like within the first year of being in Chicago, and I walked in, it was like heaven. Because I quickly realized, I mean, it was so cute, but as I started looking at the clothing and looking at the label, I quickly realized, wait, all of this is made in America, or fair trade. She stocks some fabulous fair trade shoes too.
Oh, cool.
And so it's a place where you can feel comfortable really buying anything in the store. So yeah.
Cool. Well, speaking of fair trade shoes, I don't want to interrupt you on your clothing rack there, but I know you have some great fair trade shoes, and that's like sort of a category that people don't think about as much when it comes to ethical fashion.
Yeah, and it's really important one. So I want to get a shot for the shoes here. Yeah. So I don't have an extensive shoe closet at all, as you can see. I've got a couple over here that are like more winter that I don't need as much access to them right now. But yeah, years ago, once again, when I first started looking, it was hard to find shoes that I thought were ethically made. I used to buy a lot of Toms. I still have a couple. Like these are Toms. I have a pair over there, and they've lasted a while, and that's great. But I don't have to buy them anymore. And just kind of settle for, oh, this brand is a good thing. Because now there are actually brands out there that are doing amazing work. So one of my favorite is Nisolo, and they have great collections for men and women. Sadly, there are less options for men within the ethical fashion space than there are for women, but this is one where that is not the case. So I've got 5 pairs of Nisolos.
And Nisolo is a certified B Corp, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, they do. All their shoemaking is in Peru. They also do some jewelry. I think that's in Kenya. But yeah, with my shoes, I mean, I'm really pretty. Some people might think they're boring, but I just am really simplistic with them in that I think, okay, what do I need to go with all my outfits? And once I have that, then I'm pretty good. Another great brand is Allison Whittles. These are just some really cute yellow rain boots. And these are made in Sri Lanka, and the rubber is that they use for them is fair trade certified too.
That's pretty cool. And again, I'm going to put links in the comments, but it's Alice and Whittles, which is, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, these Oxford girls are from them too. So they make a couple different kinds of shoes, but they're known for their rain boots. So yeah, it's been, and secondhand shoes are great too. I need to wash these because all winter, but I got these for $9.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they're so simple. They're like a perfect black ankle boot. I've taken them to the cobbler a couple times, but
do you have any thrift store recommendations, or you have like a favorite thrift store or do you just go everywhere?
Not really. Yeah, I mean, I've used Poshmark. I've gone to random. I remember those. That was like, I was going to Columbia College and they did a random thrift store pop-up. Like,
okay.
I just happened to look and I found them and they were like, they're $9. So of course.
Yeah, got it.
But yeah, I will say I don't do as much secondhand shopping nowadays. I relied on that a lot more in the beginning because I couldn't find any brands.
There weren't as many ethical brands out there, probably.
Yeah, I couldn't find as many ones that I wanted to buy new from, and so I did that more. But I found that for me, at least nowadays, I don't buy as much secondhand because it's so cheap that, and it's a really good thing that it's cheap, but it's so cheap that I'll end up buying pieces that I really don't wear much.
Yeah.
So when I'm paying more for stuff, I make sure it's something I really like and then I wear it more. And I keep
That's an interesting point. And I do want to look at a couple more pieces in your closet, but I did want to ask you about like the cost of ethical fashion. I mean, you say that you do spend more when you're buying something new.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it depends. It definitely does cost more. It depends on what brands you buy from, though. I mean, like I said, I've bought a lot of pieces from Whole Foods. Like this dress is another one that I got from Whole Foods. It's got this lovely back paneling here. I had this thing for years, and it's a fantastic summer dress. And I think that was, I don't know, maybe $35 or something. And the brand, you know, they pay their workers well, they use good fabric. So some of them can manage to get it a bit lower. Others like Reformation, it'll be pricier. But I think that's ultimately a good thing for certain pieces. I mean, for, you know, like jumpsuits and stuff, like that's not something we all need. So a higher price on it makes you think, do I really want this? And if it is something I really want, then, you know, you might save up for it or whatever. But yeah, it really quells that overconsumption. It can be so easy when stuff is cheaper.
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
But I mean,
whoops. Uh-oh. I don't know if we're losing Rebecca or not. I guess we'll give it a second and see what happens here.
Whoops, it looks as if we might.
All right. Well, she's mentioned a lot of really great brands and some stores to check out, and we'll get those links posted. While we wait to see if she comes back, let's just go ahead and plug our Chicago Fair Trade events. We've got, like I mentioned at the beginning, we have this coffee clutch going on for the next couple Saturdays, and it's just kind of an easy thing, log on in your sweatshirt and like talk about whatever. Is that 11 a.m., Catherine? Is that right? The
10 a.m.
I'm sorry. It's a 10 a.m. every Saturday. How could I get that wrong? There are links on our Facebook page, and there's an Eventbrite link as well. And I'll get those posted.
In our Instagram bio.
And our Instagram too. I also want to put a shout out for the Conscious Closet Club. The Chicago Conscious Closet Club is this group that we met twice in person before the pandemic kind of kept us from doing live events, but we've just recently started an Instagram account, and of course, we're a Facebook group. If you're not into the social media, we're working on some more ways to get events to you, and we would love to hear your ideas. And you can email those to me if you want to at holly@chicagofairtrade.org. Am I forgetting any events? Probably, but we'll post those links and say that again, please.
No, that's good for now. Those are the upcoming
events that are coming up. Yeah, we've done so much this spring. It's hard to keep track. We'll hope to see you at the Coffee Clutch, and if not, at the Tea Time, which we're also doing every week at every Thursday at 2. And thanks for joining today. I'm so sorry we got cut off, but hopefully this inspired you to do a little bit of ethical shopping yourself. And we'll see you next time.